Welcome to the podcast for your spiritual growth. Evolve,
align,
and embrace. I'm Alex.
And I am Sophia.
Let's start.
Hello and welcome back to Evolve, Align, and Embrace, the podcast. Today we talk about the beautiful throat chakra, where our communication and our expression lies. I hope you enjoy and that you may find yourself in our conversation and find something you can relate to and that helps you overall. Enjoy.
So today we're going to talk about the next chakra in line, which is the throat chakra. And in Sanskrit it's Vishuddha. Yes. And it's also very special, very interesting chakra that if you look into it can give you so much insight into yourself. And I hope you will learn a lot. And let's just start and dive right into it.
So it's right, the location is right at our throat, in the center of our throat. And it has the element of ether. Ether is kind of like space. And the reason for that is also because there's a lot of movement. Like it's close to the heart, where there's also in the heart and
the air.
Air and ether, air and space. There's a lot of movement. There's lots of things happening. This chakra is a lot about your truth, your inner truth, who you are and how you express who you are. It's about being authentic to yourself, or not, right? And kind of like in a nutshell, when you are imbalanced in this chakra, it often looks like you are not living up to your truth and not saying what you really think or mean or feel. And I think this is through our lifetime, like through growing older, we grow in this chakra a lot because we not only identify our truth from time to time, the older we get, but then the older we get, we start to live our truth more as well. So I think it's a journey, this chakra, to towards our truth, towards living our truth.
Also, it is the chakra that, with all the movement that is in there, can help us to express and to communicate everything that's going on in the other chakras inside of us. It's very much connected to the outside world, and also it lets all the information from the outside world get into our body. Yes, so it's a total expression chakra where we learn or see if we are really in tune with how we actually are in towards our outside world, if we are really able to express that, to show that. We don't even have to talk about it sometimes. Expression can also be done by showing. So expression of who you are can be done by how you wear your clothes, what kind of clothes you wear, how you what kind of furniture, what kind of home you have, how you express yourself there, through your work, through your words, your everyday actions, through art, for example, movement, dance, painting, writing, and singing. A lot of other things maybe that can come to mind. Yeah. So right now, in this moment, Sophia and I are very much trying to be super balanced in this chakra, so we can express to you guys, so you can understand what we have to say, our truth. And that's the thing. It's super, and it's also a balanced chakra when we can express ourselves so that the other person can get it. or that the world can get it. Because you can also be like, I'm a clown, I'm a clown, I'm a clown, I have a red nose, and be over expressive with what you got to say without even thinking or taking in how the other person or the environment around you can take it in. So it's very much about movement between your outside world and your inside world, because the expression and the communication has to do with those two poles: the person who sends what has to be said or what wants to be said, and the person who takes in what is being said.
What you just said about like this chakra is the expression of all your other chakras or your being. I just wanted to add that this chakra is the Vishuddha is very closely related, especially to the Svadhisthana chakra, the sacral chakra. If you've listened to the episode where we talked about that, you already know what that is. If you haven't, you can go back and listen to that podcast. I think we called it the sacral chakra, and that's your creativity chakra. So what Alex just mentioned about like this is where you express your creativity, that's where the connection comes in of your sacral, your creativity, where it is, and then expressing that. Like great artists had a very good balanced connection of these two chakras, because they were firstly able to create something, but then also to bring it out into the world through, as we said, paintings, choreographies, spoken words, songs, whatever it may be. Like, yes, being creative is important during that process, but bringing it out is an equal important way of showing that art. And so it's really important to be to work on that chakra if you have so many ideas but you don't know how to bring them down, how to make them work actually. Because I know for myself, I had so many ideas, and I used to have so many ideas, but when in my earlier years when I was younger, I didn't know how to make it happen, and I didn't. And then it just lacked on the execution and on the taking action, and then nothing happened. So all these great ideas were kind of went to waste because I didn't know how to express them.
Yes, definitely. I can totally relate to that. Especially right now in that I am a little bit of a more working in the coaching area and yoga area rather than the dancing and the performing. Due to Corona and my pregnancy, I always think about, okay, how I can do that. I can work that kind of stuff. I can do yoga, I can do coaching. I have all those things inside of me, the skills, the craft, but how do I tell the people out there that I'm serving in that area, that I'm there for them? How can they know I'm there? How can I show up? How can I communicate my work? That's something that's very interesting, and I'm still figuring it out. Yes. So communicating yourself through social media is also, for example, a way of telling the world, this is me. Therefore, it's also very related to the solar plexus chakra. Like you don't only own the feeling of this is who I am, and I'm standing for who I am, and I'm doing what I got to do, but it's also saying I'm doing it and being in tune with what you're doing and what you're saying, and being able to say, I'm this kind of person, or I do this kind of work, and here I can explain it to you the way you need it to be explained in order to understand what you can have from that, what I can give you with that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so connected to selling. Like I work with entrepreneurs, and I help them kind of get in a state of selling from not only like from their heart, but being able to communicate their offer in a way that their clients or their prospective clients understand them and actually want their service, right? So it's expression and words, like using the correct words, and is so important in communication. We know that when we have an argument with someone and we speak out of a feeling, there might be words that communicate something different than what we actually want to say, right? So we always have to be in check of what do I want to communicate, not how do I feel about it, but how can I communicate it in a way that my opposite will understand it in a kind but still truthful way. And there's Satya. Are you familiar with Satya?
Can you explain it again?
Of course. So Satya is one of the yogic principles, and it's the second actually. So they go after which one. The first one is the most important one, and then it builds up. So after Ahimsa, which is like the one where we love everyone and everything on this planet, comes Satya, and Satya is about truthfulness. So truthfulness is the second most important, how you can say, not well, thing to have and to look after in life. And in whatever you do in life, you need to stay truthful to yourself. You need to stay truthful to what you feel. You need to stay truthful to what is happening, because sometimes there's a situation and we don't want to stay truthful because maybe the truth hurts, or maybe the truth is uncomfortable, or it's not what we wished for. And I think we talked about this last time a little bit when we talked about the heart chakra, right? Accepting what is and feeling into it. And it just really correlates with our throat chakra, the Satya, because we are not, if we're imbalanced in our throat chakra, it's immensely difficult for us to be able to communicate the truth, because we are not willing yet to look it in the eye and see what is there instead of what we want to be there. So I think this is like it's really nice to educate yourself a little bit about Satya and what it means, because it doesn't mean to be always kind and be always like, it's very correlated also with the heart, right? It's not about being only kind to someone because we think we should be kind, but to come from a truthful and an honest place in a kind way. And that's two different things. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that in, that it's really correlated with Satya.
It's a big self-love topic, to be kind to yourself, and to, from that point of view, go out there in the world and do things like saying no or saying yes, and being kind, but still sticking to what you do not want, and not having to say yes to everything. I think we said that in the last podcast at some point too. So we said that where it is, the location, and that it has to do with sound and ether, like the space and movement. Its color is purple, and its mantra is I speak. So if you like to support yourself there, you can, for example, practice a mantra and just repeat for yourself, I speak, I speak, I speak. All the organs and other physical regions in your body that are connected to that are the voice, the neck, the shoulders, your hearing, and your speech. Physically, if you are balanced in it, you are having a strong voice and good hearing, so you have a very balanced way of communicating clearly, so everybody can understand, plus also of taking in very strongly and clearly what is being said and communicated towards you, to you. It's psychologically so when you're balanced that you can articulate yourself really well, you can express yourself well. I mean, I'm just repeating a little bit, but I'm just trying to narrow it down as well. To be very clear in what you got to say. And the other way is when you are disbalanced, you could physically feel like you have like a frog in your neck, but also like it's stiff. You can have a cold or poor hearing. It could be that you're mumbling, that you don't get it out, that you're like, well, I don't know, you know what, see, well, something like this could come out of your mouth. We all know those kind of situations. When you have a block in your speech. And also stutter is a sign of an imbalanced throat chakra. Psychologically, you can be indecisive, nervous, you can be manipulative and gossiping a lot or lying. Those are just some words that are very much connected to the physical and psychological balance and unbalanced throat chakra.
Yeah, so it's good that you just kind of brought all the information out. And I just want to kind of draw a picture a little bit more of how it could look like when you're imbalanced. Like, as you mentioned, like, you could feel nervous. And, you know, when you're nervous and when you're always kind of stressed, you can get tight shoulders. And you can, you know, that feeling, I used to have that a lot, like my shoulders, my neck would hurt always. And, you know, we had a lot of theories of, it could be my feet that are misaligned. It could be this or that, stress and the heavy bag, school bag, you know, I was still in school. And of course, all these things, I believe, were part of it. But what I've now, through my spiritual journey, have found out was that I am predominantly imbalanced in that one, in Vishuddha. And it's so interesting when you have the knowledge about yourself that whenever there are situations coming up where that part of me is kind of, there's a light on it, on this part of myself that I used to be, I very fast feel that frog that you mentioned. It almost feels like a stone right in my throat, and I feel like I can't even swallow. It's like there, it's like really hard. And what has helped me a lot work with this chakra is, first of all, as with all the other chakras, right, you can do a lot of asanas, which are opening. It's like opening of your throat. So it's heart openers, because heart openers not only open the chest, but you can add the opening of your throat. And this opening can release the blockages. With that, of course, comes also breathing. And either I do in the moment of when I feel this frog in my throat, I try to imagine breathing air into this space and making it just with air, just really focusing on this intentionally of this area, in this area, and bringing space, which its element is space. So I want to bring space to this area, and you can bring space through bringing air to that area. And sometimes it just feels also like, I need to release this. There's something stuck. And then it's really good to do breath of fire, actually, it's also called. And it's when you stick out your tongue and you take out all the air forcefully. So if you're watching here on YouTube, you can see what I'm doing. Otherwise, you're just going to hear me now. But it's going to look like this. It's like opening your mouth really, really big, and you don't have to bring the tongue out, but it helps. And just breathing like that a couple of times, and it just release the tension out. And so these are like some physical things that you can do. But more importantly, I think this is like some fast track energy moving practice. But more importantly, I think it's about listening to yourself. Like, what is my truth? Am I actually thinking what I'm saying? Is this situation that's happening right now that's giving me this feeling maybe a kind of like a sign that I'm not living my truth, that I'm not speaking my truth, that I should stand up for myself? Because this was what I used to really struggle with, standing up for what I believe to be true, and not just following somebody's opinion because I didn't have one yet, or because I didn't know, or because I wanted to be liked, or whatever. And it's really about, where am I? Where do I stand? And often balancing out this chakra, as all of them, is really a journey, and it's really it takes work and it takes courage, because it's not that easy. Sometimes it's about standing up for yourself and your family, right? And that can be really hard because you're emotionally connected to those people. Standing up in a relationship is, I think, the hardest in any relationship that's deep emotionally, is really, really hard. And but it's so important to be balanced in your relationships, in your throat chakra, because otherwise communication is number one, I believe, for a healthy relationship. And so it can be hard, but it's definitely necessary to work with this chakra.
Me personally, I remember when I did take singing lessons, and I had to connect all my body, like my lower tummy, to my voice, and use everything that I have for the resonance that I can have or get for my singing. That I did that while I was in school. And when I took those lessons in school, when I was talking in class to the teacher, I would never turn red again. I would just be relaxed with what I got to say and with who I am in the room. And before I took singing lessons and after I took singing lessons, I turned red again when I had to talk. So I even still have that today in situations. Sometimes in front of my boyfriend, when I find somebody else cute and he gets it, I turn red. Or this weekend when I took a class, I also turned red when I had to introduce myself. And I was very surprised, because this redness really is sometimes giving me a weird feeling, even though I know what I have to say and what I would like to say. So yeah, singing is very helpful. If you really truthfully connect to your body and your voice, the sound of your voice, you can open up your throat chakra and connect your being with your voice. And also, what I always love to do as an exercise when I teach the chakras is taking a timer and just talking through for 3 minutes at least about, I don't know, maybe something like how your morning was, and talking about every detail, so you can open up the chakra and talk with what is it called, TMI, too much information. So you get relaxed with talking about what is inside of you. And so this is also a very nice exercise that you can do to just open up there, warm it up, and just blur it all out, in case you feel like there's a block or you haven't expressed yourself yet truthfully.
Yeah, I like that. I like that warming up, because Sometimes when, I am working and I'm working on my computer, and then I'm like, oh, I need to, I want to communicate something on social media. And I take the phone and I start talking, and it's like blank because I'm in my mind, and then I have to get it out. So I have to transition, right?
Yes.
And that's a good practice to just start talking, start bringing it out. And one thing that I also kind of, while you were talking, when you talked about your experience with the singing lessons, it's really interesting how you can tell in others also how when this is blocked, when your throat chakra is blocked, because as you said before, like mumbling, block in speech, or stutter can be signs of blockages. But also there is when someone comes to you and they have a very, very soft voice and a little bit mousy and sweet and high, that also can be a sign that they are not really grounded in who they are, and that they are still looking for their truth. And I think last time also we talked about like posture, and but it's so interesting to kind of look around you and kind of see, oh, okay, this person is actually like, she or he is just not yet, hasn't yet arrived in his or her truth fully. And what I believe also, because the element is space, it's so floaty up here that it needs earth element,
Yes.
strength of, of
even more.
Of this, I know who I am and I stand in it, and you need that in order to be fully balanced in this throat chakra. So I feel like throat chakra is so connected to all of our, as we said in the beginning, like we all already mentioned a couple connections, and I think almost all connections we already mentioned, that we already talked about. And also it's really connected to our third eye chakra, which we're going to talk about next week, because it's about like also taking the action, or expressing what your vision is, and and that connection. But yeah, so I feel like we need to have this really strong connection in who we are in order to be able to express it, because if we don't have that knowledge, that inner knowledge, then we are not able to express anything. We're just going to express what we know already. And so that's also why mostly you will work first on the lower chakras, kind of, to strengthen those, to be able to express yourself, and then later like follow your vision, see your vision, what we're going to talk next time. But so a strong foundation is so important to flourish in the higher chakras.
Totally, 1000%, because I'm still working on my chakra Find Your Right ebook, and they're also at the beginning teaching that it's so much more important to first of all connect to your real needs. What do I really need? What do I really need right now? Like just physically start with that. Am I warm enough? Am I hungry? Do I have to go to the loo? What do I need? And I can always connect back to that one thing. What do I need right now? Is such a good practice to find out who you are and what is really vibing inside of you, that at one point really is the only truth that has to be expressed. And then the second thing you can also always rehearse and tune in for is, how do I feel? Second chakra, how do I feel right now? What do I feel? You can just start physically. How do I feel physically? Am I sitting comfortably? Is something tight? Is something really wide and relaxed? Or am I feeling relaxed? Am I feeling sad? Am I feeling good about myself or about some situation? Or is there something inside of me that doesn't feel right, that's a little bit crooked. So this is also something we can, in order to give a good ground to our truth that we want to express, that we can just practice on a daily basis over and over again. And I really do that every now and then. I just sit there, or I just stop for a second, and I'm like, okay, how do you feel? How do I feel right now? What do I need right now? Because in every part of the day, you can change the day or the way you go through the day. In the morning, you can be like, did I wake up? What do I need right now? Do I need coffee? Do I need something to eat? Do I just need to go to the loo? Do I want to have breakfast later? Should I go for a walk outside? Do I want to talk to somebody? Should I pick up the phone already, or should I leave it down? Ask yourself a couple times a day, what do I need? How do I feel? I think if we got that in ourselves, and if we embody that more, then it's so much more easier to open up here and express it and show it and stand for that.
Yeah, I totally agree, because also I love to this throat chakra has a lot to do with our relationships with ourselves, with others, with the world around us. And in relationships where you don't really know yourself yet, where you don't know your needs, where you don't know how to connect to your feelings, it's really challenging to communicate in a truthful way, because you don't have that you don't have that knowledge, and then it's not even possible to connect truthfully, because you don't know the truth. So there are relationships that start early on, and when you're young, and you might not have that wisdom of yourself or the knowledge of yourself yet. And of course, there's like a way to get to that knowledge in the relationship, but it's so much more challenging to work on that with a partner and for yourself than having a partner or starting a relationship when you already have that knowledge, because then you already know which boundaries to set, which things you need in a relationship for yourself, right? And how you can communicate truthfully. And sometimes couples and partners that develop that knowledge together, and that's beautiful too. But in that case, it can be challenging sometimes for the other partner or to each other to see that new, more truthful person in front of them, because it changes then. The person, it's not really that we change, I think. It's more that we discover more who we are and discover more what we need, rather than, again, what we think we need, what we want. And therefore, the outside picture changes.
And also who we think we should be to make the other person happy, or to make somebody happy.
Yeah.
To let go of that and to connect to who we really are. Yeah.
And we don't just do or act or say something to impress the other person, but to to be authentic to oneself, and no matter what, because in the end, if you have a relationship with someone, and it doesn't have to be a love relationship, it could be a business relationship, it could be whatever. In the end, it's not going to be healthy for either party, and it's not going to be of benefit.
It's going to eat up too much energy if you lie, or if you're not truthful all the time.
And it spirals down.
Yes, it's going to get you and the other person tired eventually. Yeah, which can lead to unhealthy outcomes. I would love to be the very easygoing girlfriend who has nothing to complain, for example, but I'm fed up with him throwing around things at home and not tidying them up, for example. So sometimes I would just pick it up and put it to the side. But then sometimes I would also express that I would like him to help me and to not throw his pants somewhere in the kitchen, but in the laundry when he doesn't wear them anymore. But I can practice to say that in a way that is not offending or angry and aggressive towards him. So I can be more articulative with my truth.
Also, you then picking it up is first, it's not authentic to what you actually want, right? Or what you need for him to do in order for you to be in a good relationship. And when we hold back on our truth, because maybe we didn't touch on that. So when we hold back on this truth, then it not only like energy builds up, because it doesn't leave, right? It doesn't leave. So it builds up in this in our throat. So there will be either a point where you will burst out in anger, frustration, and that cannot that can be towards that person, but it can only also be in a completely different situation where you don't even see or understand the connection of why did I feel that way, or why did I burst out, why was I so unkind, why did I scream to that. You see that in there are some people who in one relationship never expressed their true feelings, and then in other relationships just let it all out and say all the bad things, and that maybe not where there aren't even maybe bad things, but they just need to let that energy out. So some people who you might feel like, oh, they're terrible, they're so unkind, I can't work with them, I can't talk to them. Those people might have issues with truthfulness towards other closer people to them, that they can't express really, or they can't really talk about it. So they need to let that out. Or it can then just come to a constant not being able, like being stuck here and not being able to really talk, or having that tension here in your throat, and constant, as we said, like being constantly sick and constantly having colds and having a stiff neck always, that. So it could also go into the physical.
That's why it's so important to really connect to your truth, to really rehearse to say the truth in a human kind way, so that you don't let it out at some other end where you don't want to, and maybe even do not good to yourself by destroying a good or just any relationship to another person just because you haven't expressed how you really feel in another relationship. It's just so important for your overall health and social health to really check if you're honest to yourself and to every relationship you have.
And if you feel like, but I can't tell him or her exactly how I feel when I try to, and I'm in the moment, and I want to say it, but I just can't. Then I totally understand you. I feel that too. Like, because I have so many issues with that chakra, I know that when I'm in an argument, I have so much difficulty to express exactly what I feel, or what I want to bring to the table, because I might get overthrown by feelings, or I might have a blank of what I want to say, which happens often. So here's a quick little task you can do, and that is, when your mind is clear again and you kind of, the fire of the argument is weighing down, then write a letter, either for yourself to have clarity, or to that person. Like, you can either just journal about it for yourself to have clarity, to know what to say next time, or you can write a letter to that person, and really a letter, and give it to that person. And that might feel uncomfortable, but it's better somehow to bring that what you're feeling, what you're thinking to that person, then not at all. Because if you stay silent and don't say anything in the end, then your truth is not going to get out. And if you just can't say it, then start writing. And not writing when you're in the in that mood, but when you have a clear mind and when you can you speak and express yourself without attachment, but with just very simple, like, this is how it is, and I don't feel good about this, and I would like to change this, and really just writing down how you feel, and go from there. Like that.
Yes.
That's something that has helped me and my clients so many times. And if you really can't give that to the person, then then either keep the letter or burn the letter, as a sign of, okay, I got it out, my truth is out, and now I can let it go. And that's also one way to do that, if that's not too esoteric for you. But there are other ways than just communicating through talking with others.
Because when it's there, this thing that has to be said, your truth, it will always be there. And even if you don't speak it out, it will be somewhere, and it will be stuck inside of you. Maybe it will be a block between you and the person, because you are not in flow with the truth of the relationship, because your truth is not being said towards that person that is triggered or that has to do with that person. So let's always try to let the energy move and flow. And if you feel like there's something not flowing but stuck, really try to get it out of your system, to be able to let go and not hold on to anything that wants to flow. Because this is all, I think, from my perspective, in this world we should try to do in order to stay healthy, physically, energetically, and keep our system clean and as flowy and flexible as possible.
Right. That's why we do chakra work, because we want the energy to flow through the chakras.
Yes.
And that's one way of purifying your body. Like that's a very uncommon way to say, but that's basically speaking your truth is a way of purifying. And that's what we aim in order to get a hold of our innate Kundalini energy, of our really the energy that is more of us, like deeper than, how can I say that? Look, my Vishuddha chakra is in balance right now. I can't express. But the Kundalini chakra is basically in the center of our chakra, and our energy is flowing around the Kundalini and through the chakras. This is kind of this sign, this medical sign. You see it sometimes in medical, with this
snake.
Schlange. Yeah, with the snake. So we want to connect to that energy, because that energy gives us life force. Life force, yes. And when the energy flows, then we can connect to that energy, to Kundalini. And that's basically the whole reason for us to even attempt working with our chakras.
Amen.
Potential.
Yes, because you can detox, you can stop eating this and this and that, but also talking your truth and purifying through that is so helpful in order to stay healthy, be healthy. Yes.
Energetic level.
So you guys, if you have any questions about that, contact us, like we always say. I hope you learned a little bit more about yourself while listening to us and to our stories and insights on that topic. please always remember how important your energetical level is, how important you are, and how important it is for us to share what we know so we can all become more healthy and tap into our real potential in this life, so we can make a better world together out there and be more truthful to ourselves and the world.
Yeah, and the next time you feel nervous about saying something or introducing yourself, or a group of new people, be yourself. Then remember that it's all about the people who are meant for you are the ones who are going to accept you the way you are and accept your authenticity. And that's why you will never say anything wrong. If you just stay true to who you are in this very moment. So there's no need to be nervous about these things. We attract the people who are on one level with us.
Yes, we're vibing the same way as us. Yes. This is so important. Thank you. Yes, because it's not that you're enough the way you really are, but it's actually the real shit when you are the way you are. It's the real nice, juicy energy, like the potential lies in there. And yes, I can just encourage you to really try to really practice being truthful to yourself and others. I'm so happy I got more into that direction within the last years, and I'm so much more healthy and have less physical and psychological problems since I am more truthful and don't try to be something anymore. Yeah.
Have a beautiful rest of the day, everyone. Thank you so much for listening or watching, and we would, as always, appreciate some feedback, comments, and to hear from you.
Yes. Goodbye. Namaste, you guys. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for tuning in and spending some time with us talking about the throat chakra. If you have any questions, just contact us at any time. And we would be pleased if you could leave us some stars and some words on iTunes podcasts, so other people can hear about this podcast and more people can get to know the information that we share about the chakra work. So thank you so much and have a great day, a great time. Take care. Bye-bye.